Hey everybody, Casey Dimon here, TaxLawAcademy.com, and today I want to talk to you about tax liens in the state of Arizona. So if you're a tax lien investor or even considering diving into the world of tax sale investing, it's a very important video. Recently, there have been some changes to the way Arizona operates their tax lien systems. There's also been some changes in some other states, but we're talking about Arizona today. Many of those changes are going to be the result of some high-profile court cases challenging the legality of various aspects of the tax foreclosure systems. One of the most popular is the Hennepin versus Tyler County case. If you're not familiar with that case, it involves the owner losing a property for a $15,000 tax debt. The property sold for $40,000 at auction, and the county kept the surplus funds instead of giving them to the delinquent owner. At the time, the county was in the right to do that because that's what the law said they were to do. The former owner sued for excessive taking. The Supreme Court eventually agreed and said that those surplus funds, the amount between what is due for taxes and what was paid for the property, should go to the property owners after all other liens, like private party liens and mortgages, have been paid. Now, it's like this already in many states. But what has happened here is this case got a lot of national attention. There are a lot of other cases similar to this one, like Wayside Church versus Van Buren County in Michigan. There's a lot of other cases that kind of popped up from those cases challenging different parts of the laws. But again, what has happened is this has caused a lot of states to tweak them just a little bit. In some states, a lot of these changes have already gone into law. In other states, it'll be years before these changes go into law. So it's just a matter of learning to pivot when they do go into law, adjusting your strategy. There's going to be money to make, so don't be worried about that at all. But I want to kind of just discuss what has happened in Arizona. And these laws went into effect in the last few months here. So they are now going to have a system that utilizes the potential for an excess proceeds sale. So in the past, Arizona's tax lien process was pretty straightforward. A tax lien is sold at auction. If it does not get redeemed in the redemption window, the certificate holder could foreclose on it, take ownership of the property. But Arizona has made significant changes to how that foreclosure process works. The biggest change is going to be the introduction of the excess proceeds sale option. So what this does is it gives the delinquent taxpayer, the property owner, more protection for their property that is being foreclosed on. Essentially, if the court finds that an excess proceeds sale is warranted, the property can be sold at a public auction. And the proceeds, after covering the auction fees plus what is due to the certificate holder, will go back to the property owner, the person that lost that property. So let's break down some of the major changes on a step-by-step basis. So first off, when a tax lien holder is ready to foreclose, the property owner now has the right to request a court review. And that court will determine if an excess proceeds sale is warranted for the property. And here's how they do that. The property has to be sold for what they think will be at least $2,500 more than what is owed. So they'll take the back due taxes, interest, fees, and any publication charges, any auction fees, all that kind of stuff, and they'll total all this up. If they think the property will sell for $2,500 plus all those fees and all those taxes and interest that are previously due, then they will likely approve it. If it's $2,500 or less, they will not approve it. So if it's a $1,000 tax lien and they think the property is going to sell for $1,500, it's not worth their time, and they will not approve the excess proceeds sale. That's kind of how the system is designed to work. If the court agrees and they say, yes, your property will sell for at least $2,500 more than what is owed, they will take it to a public auction. Now, the auction price is going to start at the unpaid taxes, interest, penalties, all that good stuff. So it will start as what is owed, and it will go up from there with the expectation it will reach at least that $2,500 threshold. And that's kind of, at that point, it's more or less just like it would be in a tax deed state. Now, once somebody buys that property at the excess proceeds sale, how are the funds distributed? First off, they go to the certificate holder. They get their money back plus interest. Then any outstanding lien holders like private party lien holders such as mortgage holders or mechanics liens. And then lastly, any money that's left over goes back to the person that lost their property. So you might be wondering how this impacts tax lien investors like you or myself. As an investor, if you have a tax lien and you want to foreclose on it, if it goes through the entire redemption period and nobody decides to step in and redeem it, you can take it to foreclosure of that tax lien. However, the court could require that the property is sold publicly. In that situation, you would still get your capital back plus your nice little interest as if somebody redeemed the property. It's the same thing. If they take it to a sale, it's no big deal. If they decide not to take it to a sale, then you get the property. And something to note here is, again, not every property is going to go to an excess proceeds sale. There has to be a substantial amount of equity, at least $2,500, to take it to an excess proceeds sell. So in the case of a lot of vacant properties, vacant lots that you might have $500 or $700, $800 worth of tax liens on, if it's only valued at $2,000 or $3,000, they're probably not going to take it to an excess proceeds sell. A lot of this will kind of play out over the coming years, but my assumption is for the cheap properties, it's going to be business like usual. You buy the lien, a few years later you foreclose, you get that property and you resell that property. Otherwise, it's going to be like investing in some hybrid states. It's kind of interesting that their laws are actually fairly similar to what happens in Florida, which is a hybrid state. They have a tax lien system. The lien holder holds it for a couple of years and they force it to go to a tax deed sale, at which point the lien holder gets their money back and a tax deed buyer buys it. It's a very, very similar system. So hopefully that kind of brings you up to speed on the new Arizona tax lien laws. If you are a tax sale investor, it's very important right now to stay updated on all legal changes like this. It can impact your strategy. It can impact your income if you do not pay attention. With that said, as laws change, you need to be able to pivot your strategy because the people that are able to take advantage of all these tax sale law changes are going to reap massive, massive rewards if you're ahead of the curve. So pay attention. For more information on this incredibly lucrative business, make sure you check out our training platform at taxsaleacademy.com. We would love to have you in our community. Hey, take care, folks. Bye-bye.